Hello and welcome back to another Everflow webinar. I'm your host, Isaac Mayer, and today we're going to be talking about postbacks, more specifically the partner and advertiser postbacks. And this is going to be a great one-on-one to help introduce them to you and show you how to properly use them in Everflow. So I'm going to start this slideshow and let's jump right in. Okay, so as always, we're going to be going through a brief agenda and then we'll jump into the meat and potatoes. So like I said, this is Partner and Advertiser Postback 101. As always, we're going to do an introduction to myself so you know who I am and why I'm an authority on the subject. I'm going to talk about an introduction to postbacks, show you what they are. I'm going to show you how to create and pull your postbacks, both for Partner and Advertiser postbacks. We're going to talk about parameters and macros in a little mini parameter and macro masterclass. We're going to talk about how to troubleshoot your postbacks, make sure they're formatted correctly and set up correctly to give you the results you desire. We're going to talk briefly about Everflow Pay, which we released last year and our clients have been having tremendous success with. Then we're going to talk about some upcoming events where you can see Everflowians and get to meet us. And finally, a question to answer. As always, if you do have any questions, you can add them in the right side of your screen in the chat, and I'll be more than glad to answer them at the end of the presentation. But for now, let's dig right in. Hello, my name's Isaac Mayer. If you haven't met me before, you probably have if you've been to any of these other Everflow webinars. I'm a customer success manager with Everflow, and I've been in affiliate marketing for over 6 years now, coming up on 7. And I'm based out of San Francisco in California. A couple fun facts about myself. I love to play guitar. I've been playing for around 5 years now. I started back when I was traveling through Asia. Fun fact number 2, I took a ping pong class in college, so I do have professional training in ping pong. Maybe someday we can play ping pong together at a conference or event. Who knows? That could be fun. But we're here to talk about postbacks today. As much as I love ping pong and guitar, we're going to be talking about attribution and tracking. So Isaac, what is a postback? How do they work? Great question. Let me tell you. So a postback is essentially a URL that sends data. And there's 2 types of postbacks that we're going to be talking about today. Those are partner postbacks and advertiser postbacks. And to really show you what these are and how they work, I'm going to go through this little chart and kind of show you how this whole system works, what a postback is and why it's important. So first, we're going to talk about the front end of the process. Now, because postback has the word back in it, it indicates that we're going back through the process. So this is the first half. So we have our publisher here. They might have a partner tracking link. This is going to be placed essentially wherever they want to refer a sale or some sort of service, essentially refer whatever a conversion action is. They're going to place that tracking link. Your friend, this new user comes along, sees that tracking link, thinks, oh, wow, I want that product or service, clicks it, at which point a process begins. Everflow, because that's our tracking link, creates a transaction ID. Some people might call this a click ID. This is essentially a number that we use to keep track of the entire interaction all the way through the whole postback process as well. From there, that user is directed to the advertiser's attribution platform. And this is the actual location where that conversion would take place. Now, in some cases, someone maybe thinks, okay, I don't need that super fancy vacuum cleaner, let's say, but in other cases, they might buy it. If they buy it, they make that conversion action. That's where postbacks come into play. Now, we've already had the publisher who had the tracking link, and when it was clicked, it went to Everflow. So we have a couple steps that essentially we need to track back through for this process. So that conversion happens, someone buys that vacuum cleaner. Luckily, we have that advertiser postback that's placed on the advertiser's attribution platform. That then fires, and that advertiser postback is placed wherever that conversion should fire. Maybe that's on a landing page. Maybe that's on a specific button that's clicked. That advertiser postback fires, and it fires that conversion data back to Everflow, to this network right here. At which point, Everflow takes the data and then uses the partner postback, which you've provided to Everflow, to fire that data back to the partner, this publisher right here. That way, everyone has all the information from the sale all the way through. Now let's talk about how to actually set this up. So how to create / pull a postback. There's a couple different things here. We're going to talk about partner and advertiser postbacks. One, for a partner, they will actually give you the postback for their system. So this is something that the partner provides you. For the advertiser, this is something that you'll grab out of Everflow and provide to the advertiser or place yourself if you have that option. So I'm going to show you right now where you can enter that partner postback that your partner is going to give you, and where you can find that global advertiser postback that's going to be found in your Everflow dashboard. So I'm going to stop sharing, and let's share the Everflow dashboard. Okay, so you can now see the Everflow dashboard. I'm actually going to jump out of here just so we can show you how we got there. So here's the homepage for dashboard. You can see all these wonderful stats. We're going to go to partners and postbacks. We're going to do this partner postback first. Okay, you can see some of the other postbacks that we've added here. We're going to add a new one today under postback. And we have a few different things that I'm going to be going through right now. So first, we can set it as active or inactive. Relatively self-explanatory, but if it's inactive, it's not going to fire. We can add a description for the postback so we know what it's for. In this case, it might just be a webinar test. Now there's the postback type, as you can see right here. So a conversion is the first conversion action. So that's the base conversion. An event would be a secondary conversion action. You can have as many events as you want on an offer. CPC, cost per click, is the postback type for a CPC offer. When you do implement a CPC postback, the base conversion must be set up with a CPC payout. Additional events are not required for CPC payouts. Please do note, CPC partner postbacks are not visible in standard reporting. To confirm if a CPC postback was fired, you'd have to contact the customer success team, such as myself, for verification. We also have the postback level. Global is essentially firing the postback for that partner on any offer that they are sending traffic to. So essentially, this means that anytime there is a conversion or event above here or CPC, that this postback is firing. Specific would be for a specific offer and for a specific partner. And global offer is for firing the postback for all conversions or events for that offer. So you can see here, we can just select a partner. And now, because we have it as global, anytime this partner refers to conversion, we're going to be firing this partner postback. And then we have a delivery method, and there's a few different options here as well. So we have HTML if we want this to be an image or iframe pixel. We also have a few different options for Meta and TikTok, if this is going to be a Meta or a TikTok postback. And then for the postback, this is a traditional server-to-server postback. In this method, there is an option to delay, which allows the postback to be fired to the partner with up to a delay of 5 minutes. And this can be configured in milliseconds, seconds, or minutes. And here's where you add that wonderful postback URL that, once again, your partner will have passed you. And we'll talk about formatting that in just a moment. Yeah, that is your partner postback. Let's go to your advertiser postback. Now, your advertiser postback is a little more simple. We're just going to go to this menu over here on the left, go to our control center, and click platform configurations. From here, we can just scroll down to our global postback, and bada bing, bada boom, we can copy that and pass that to our advertiser. Now, whenever there's a conversion using your tracking links, this advertiser postback will fire back to Everflow. So you can fire your partner postback back to the partner. All right, let's jump back into our presentation. Just briefly, because we're going to be talking about parameters and macros. So we've talked about how to actually add these partner and advertiser postbacks, where to find them, where to enter them into Everflow. Let's talk about some of the most important parts of these postbacks, and that's the parameters and macros. This is how you actually pass information between the tracking platform and all third-party platforms in system. Because without this information, how are we going to really properly set up attribution or inform our future campaigns or the performance of our campaigns that we already have running? So this parameter, this section right here on the left of the equal sign, is a system variable used to carry information. Now, this is essentially like it might be like the label on a shipping container, for instance. The macro is the placeholder that inserts the payload value into the parameter that's associated with it. So this might be like the box and its contents. So essentially, whenever we're passing information over to a new platform, we need to have the right label so someone can know where to put that information. Let's say we have a certain like we're only taking presents wrapped in red wrapping paper, and we want to put all the red wrapping paper presents in a certain area. This parameter is going to be like that red wrapping paper, so we know to put the red wrapped present in that area. And then this macro, which is like the box, these brackets are kind of like the box, is going to actually have the contents of the transaction ID, which is like the contents of that present. So that way, like when someone goes to reach for that red present, we can actually see what's inside and it'll be in the correct area. So that's a little bit of a metaphor for you there. Let's talk a little bit about troubleshooting this. So, of course, we're going to have to get those parameters and macros right. We're going to have to format those postbacks correctly. And then there's some troubleshooting that we can do for the advertiser. So let's first talk about formatting your postbacks. And to do this, I'm going to give you a cool little cheat sheet that we actually have on our help desk. I'm going to show you that now. So this is the Everflow help desk. If you ever do need anything, you can always reach out here. Like I said, customer success is always happy to help you, but we do have a help desk. This is our cheat sheet for setting up your partners or advertisers postbacks with the correct format. So one of the big issues that I've seen in customer success with why someone's postbacks why they might be failing is because they're using the wrong format for their postback. So for instance, let's check out how about Taboola? For Taboola, they use specific parameters and macros, and then also just a general format. You can see here, Zero Park or Volume uses different ones. So in this case, they might have the domain, and then some HTML followed by click ID equals sub1, name equals event name. This might be CD equals sub1. But essentially, we want to make sure that whatever your partner postback is that you're posting in Everflow is correct and follows the same format here using the same parameters and macros. Like I said before, and a great example of why this might be important is because like while Everflow uses transaction ID, some other platform might use click ID. And if you try to pass what one platform wants is click ID as transaction ID, it's going to be like speaking a different language. It's going to be like a different color wrapping paper on that box. So it's not going to go to the right location and we're not going to end up getting that data into the proper location. So if you are having issues with your postback, I do highly recommend checking out this help desk article to make sure that the formats are correct. Kind of like I said, also using the correct parameters and macros. Once again, it's very similar, but even if you do have a small typo, maybe you spell transaction wrong, you add like an extra I or something, that can easily be an issue there. You also want to make sure that you're not just using the parameter. Once again, that's what's on the left side of the equal sign. You're using that macro as well. And then finally, we're going to talk about troubleshooting some advertiser postbacks. So I'm going to stop sharing and go back to our slides. For your advertisers postback, there are a few troubleshooting steps to verify. So I'm just going to give you essentially this verbally, but you want to be sure that you're passing the transaction ID in the base destination URL. So once again, that's transaction ID equals the macro of transaction ID, and your advertiser is properly returning that information from their side. So you essentially just need to have that information in the base destination URL. We also recommend that you ask your advertiser to implement the postback on their side, as the brackets used around their macros can vary depending on their platform. As you saw in the help desk article that I showed you, we use those brackets that come out with little points. Someone else might use those kind of rectangular brackets, or a different form, essentially. You want to make sure that you're using everything correct. As you know, in HTML code, even a small error like the wrong form of brackets can cause large issues. All right. So we've talked about troubleshooting, setting them up, and parameters and macros. I hope this has been super informative. Let's talk a little bit about Everflow Pay. Everflow Pay, a feature we released last year, also very useful, something that our clients have had tremendous success with. So we just wanted to take an opportunity to show you why. Everflow Pay allows you to automate generating your invoices and payments to partners. It's actually the only payment method that is automated at your partner signup. And it's the only payment method that shows a warning bar on your partner's dashboard with a link to directly input their billing info if they haven't already done so. What we found is this saves our clients it helps our clients save tremendous time in setting up the partner billing method, and stops them from having to chase down their partners to input information, so they can spend more time building their campaigns and less time chasing down partners. This ultimately creates a seamless partner payments onboarding experience. If you're interested in creating this for yourself or just learning more about Everflow Pay, you can reach out to your customer success team in the chat. We'll be more than glad to talk to you about it. Or you can reach out to pay.help@everflow.io. And once again, we'd love to talk to you about Everflow Pay and show you why people have had so much success with it. So what is next in the world of Everflow? If you want to meet an Everflowian, and believe me, we want to meet you. We're always happy to meet our clients or people who are interested in our service. You can find us at PI Live. That's in London, on October 22nd through the 23rd. And you can also find us at FinCon. That's going to be October 23rd through 26th in Atlanta, Georgia. So whether you're in the US or the UK, we got you. And we hope to see you there. So thank you so much for joining me today. I always have fun on these webinars. Talking about postbacks is cool because that's something that can be a little more technical, especially if you're just getting into the space. If you do have any questions, I do have answers for you, and I can answer them now. But for everyone watching on YouTube, we'll see you in the next one.